What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel, and if you clicked on this video, you're in the right spot because I'm going to show you super practical, super actionable how you can build a six-figure info business. Because let's be honest, if I can do it, someone who wasn't able to properly or even at all speak English, I would say 8-9 years ago, and now living in his dream apartment in Medellin, Colombia, and just doing what I love, like creating content, helping coaches, consultants, business owners just make more money so that they can create freedom for themselves. So this is going to be a super practical video. I'm just going to get the iPad up in a second and we're going to go over everything that you need to do. But also, even more important, I'm going to tell you the things that, from my humble perspective and from working with hundreds of clients, generating over $2.5 million in revenue alone, I'm just also going to tell you what you don't need to focus on. Because in info, in this game that we're playing, the beauty is that we can do everything. Anything is possible, right? But this is also one of the biggest downsides. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what to do if you want to follow my footsteps, but also the exact blueprint that we give to our clients. And also, like I said, I'm going to give you the tools to stay focused, to make sure that you're not getting distracted and steering off the path. So in the description below, what you will see the timestamps. So you can watch the whole video. I would assure you this is one of those videos that you just want to watch when you have time, make some notes, perhaps come back to it. But if you want to just get a quick snippet, a quick bit of like wisdom or some actionables, check out the timestamps in the description and go to that specific part of the video. And with that being said, let's get started, guys. So let me just get my screen up. So the first part here is, of course, what is the goal? Let's just start with that, because that alone will just help us to stay focused. So the goal here, guys, let's put this in red because I'm a visual person. I like drawing, and I hope to make sure, I will always make sure that it's visible and it's like clear for you guys to understand. So the goal is a six-figure info business. So let's just be practical here for a second. What does it even mean? Like, well, 6 figures a year means that you on average make 8.3K per month. So some months you're under that, some months you're above it, but on average you make 8.3K a month. Or yes, 8.3K a month. And info business, this is like a broad word for a bunch of things. So what you can do, you can sell coaching, you can sell consulting, you can sell a course, digital products. Oh, let me just do this. Digital products, a cohort, group. Basically anything that is your expertise, you sell that. Whereas the old model, you might already been doing this, that in the old model, you just sell your expertise for time. So you sell your, you sell your time for money, right? The most logical and the most easy things to get started with entrepreneurship. Like selling your time for money is also a form of an info business. However, I want to make the argument then that you are the business. Like the moment you stop working, you stop delivering, the business kind of implodes. Plus, you're just basically selling yourself. Quick bit of my coffee, because even though I'm extremely excited to create this video for you guys, I don't want to get my coffee being cold. So that's in a nutshell what we're gonna build here, guys. Like, hopefully this is not helpful, or this is not new for you guys here. Oh, I don't want to remove it all. Hopefully this is not fully new for you, but hopefully this gets a little bit of like confusion out of the way. Yes, there we go. Awesome. So let me just get back to the main storyline. So the goal here in this video, like I said, I'm going to give you the blueprint how to build a six-figure info business. So now that we know what it is, let's just get to the next point. So there are a few. Now, my brain today wants nice and clean, like just said. So there are a few pillars, there are a few components to this business. As you can see, I am very tedious about this today because I just want to make sure that everything that we do here is clear for you guys. Well, I think there we go. So not to make things extremely complicated, but first we're going to just zoom out a little bit. So in this process, in this way of this beautiful way of selling your information, selling your expertise online, Because let's be honest, like if you're watching this video, I'm sure you already make some money, but most likely you're also already like stuck in the business. And for me, one of my core values, if not the number one, is freedom of movement. So as you can see, I live in a beautiful place. I've worked all these years, like worked my ass off, but at the same time, I just understand that the business we've built, selling information, selling expertise online, allows me to do that. And this is also something that I'm extremely passionate about with our clients. Like one of my favorite stories with our clients is like a few weeks ago, he just called in from the beach in Brazil, and he was not there for a week, like a work trip. He was like in between kiting session, and he joined on a call to work on his business together with us, right? And it was possible because now he has a business, whereas before he was just selling time. Now we understand how to do acquisition, how to close clients, how to upsell them, how to ask higher prices. Like this specific client, he just like doubled his prices and he made more money. So that's how simple it can be, right? And this comes all down to this process. So here, guys, you might have seen this on my channel before, because this is the main frame we're going to talk about. But today, like I said, I'm just going to give you exactly what you need to do. And even more important, I'm also going to tell you what not to do. So the first one is package. Then we're going to talk about positioning. Don't worry, we're going to unpack them one by one. Then we're going to talk about pipeline. And then one of my favorites, productization. So now that we have these 4 pillars like lined out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpack them one by one. And obviously we're going to start with packaging in. So with packaging in, this is just like a very fancy, sophisticated word for, okay, the expertise you have right now, let's just package that into a core offer, right? Something you can sell on repeat. Because I'm assuming here, and I might be a little bit off, but you're still in it, or you started your entrepreneurial journey that way by just selling custom packages to people, like custom partnerships, custom projects, stuff like that. Like every proposal was different. So in this first phase, the first step for us to fully build a 6-figure info business is that we want to package it. So in this case, we want to get clear on our ICP. You want to get some clarity on your offer, and I will expand on this one in a second. And that's literally it, right? We don't want to overcomplicate things. So with the ICP, is like, okay, who do you solve? Then with offer, is like, this is just a very fancy way of saying, okay, who you help, what problem you solve, and how you deliver it. Like this alone, these 3 questions, if you have clarity on that, trust me, you're already ahead of 99% of the people that are struggling to put their offer together. Because if you cannot give me in 3 lines who you help, what problem you solve, and how you deliver it, you're confused, right? So this alone will get you so much clarity. So people are like, oh yeah, I need to spend time on creating my offer and all these months and etc. I'm like, no. You just say in the beginning who you help, what problem you solve, and how you deliver it. Like that alone will give you enough direction to walk in. And that's just literally what we do in this first step. We take a step in a direction, right? So you package what you have right now. You look at the case studies you've had, the client results, the projects, all the things you've done so far, but also, and this is a bit of a fluffier one. I don't want to go super woo-woo with this video, but it needs to be aligned, right? If you want to build a successful info business, this is something that I've learned throughout the years, and especially with this business, I believe, and this is a personal opinion, that your heart has to be in it. Why? Because it is an extension of who you are as a person, your interest, your story, etc. But at the same time, especially like in the delivery, sure, we're going to talk about productization later, but you still have to spend quite some time with your clients. Why? Because you're helping them go through a transformation. And sure, there is some do-it-yourself, some templates and worksheet like that, and AI that you can leverage. But at the same time, I argue that if you're passionate for what you do and you like the people you're working with, this just becomes play, right? It's what Naval Ravikant says, is like, find work that feels like play or joy. So like I said, zoom in on who you help, what problem you solve, and how you deliver it. And then of course the ICP is this. You don't have to be extremely clear about this. You can have in the beginning, when you're starting out, when you're putting your offer together, look at 10 of your best clients, or 10 of your case studies. Figure out, okay, who got the best results? Who do I like working the most with? use it as your ICP. Right? You don't have to be extremely specific that even you get down to like granular levels as like demographics and stuff like that. But have an idea and take a step in that direction. So that's the first one, guys. So to hold my promise here, this is, let me just make it a little bit smaller. So this is what I want you to do. So this is the stuff that is good. Also, like I said, I'm gonna give you the things to not do, right? So the things I don't want you to do is endless offer tweaking. Like, okay, this having this idea of like it has to be perfect before I go to the market. I have to have everything figured out, like the pricing, the delivery, the structure, the guarantees, everything has to be perfect. What happens? You end up procrastinating. Plus, a great offer doesn't come to life like sitting in a dark room with the windows closed, right? You have an idea, which is what I here gave you in green, like that alone, like do this, and you already have a better idea than most people, like 99% of people that I speak to. So I don't want you to do the endless offer tweaking. Also, I don't want you to skip this step because you say like, yeah, I get Jesse, I have to put an offer together, but I'm not there yet. I prefer to just keep things custom because my business is different. La la la. Sure. Like I spoke to so many service providers, so many coaches, and everyone kind of thinks that their business is unique. And sure, there are unique nuances and unique outliers, but it's not always true, right? So I really want you to put up in pace. Like if this matters to you, like starting with an offer is just step number one, and it's the most crucial step because this is the foundation for everything that you do. So don't skip this step because you think you're special, right? Because if you do that, you stay in this loop. Like you get a client, you deliver the work, you get back to zero. You're not building a real business. So that's the two things here. And then the last one, this might be the most important thing, is I don't want you to try to do it all. Like the chances are very high that you're watching this as a solopreneur, because that's the majority of my audience. And if you just keep telling yourself that you can deliver different offers, as in like a done for you offer, a do it yourself offer, a done with you offer, like because you have all these people in your audience and you just want to serve them all and you don't want to leave money on the table, well, trying to do it all will just burn you out. Perhaps not tomorrow, but in a few months from now, you just are too spread too thin. So I would argue to just I would recommend you just to, like I said here, pick one freaking offer, guys. Don't try to do it all. And again, don't think you're special that you can do it all. Again, focus is key, especially early phase, and especially if you're a solopreneur, and hopefully you are. So that's the packaging phase, right, guys? So I gave you what to do, and perhaps even more important, what not to do. So if you're currently in this phase that you have tried it at first, that you've tried some things already, focus on eliminate the red things first. So stop doing. Let me just stop doing this and start doing that, and then it will be much better for you, much easier. So let's get to the second one, guys, positioning. So the simple way here of thinking about positioning is, first of all, of course, your LinkedIn profile. And here is where these things start to work together. So people overcomplicate a LinkedIn headline all the time. But I just found a very simple formula. If you just start out with that and you implement that, you go from good to great really fast. I help who? Solve what? Or achieve what? By how? So that they can X, Y, Z, right? It's a formula, right? These are placeholders, and I want you as the expert to fill that in for yourself. But this alone, guys, will already just help you get from, oh, okay, I don't know what my LinkedIn headline should be, to, okay, I have an idea. Again, I talked about this a lot. You need to be directionally right in the beginning. You need to take a step in a direction, right? And now we already have it. Because what this does, it eliminates you, the people that you're not for. It removes the problems you're not solving. Because as you can see, in this formula that I'm giving you, you don't have room to add all these, right? Like, it's impossible. It's impossible. Like if you still try to do it all and then you get to this exercise, you get stuck, right? So hopefully this is a little bit more reinforcement to focus, guys. Like focus is key. So this is one, right? Your LinkedIn profile. Make sure that's focused. At the same time, and this is where like content comes into play, which is a bigger part of like like phase three. But oh, let me just make sure that that's fixed. Aye, that's 2 times. There we go. So in this part of positioning, we also want to position your offer in the market. So how do we do that? So when you have some clarity on who you solve or who you serve, what problem you solve, and who you target, what you can do is you can put out some little hand raisers. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee, and then we're going to talk about hand raisers. So with hand raisers, what you're basically doing, you talk about your offer in a way that you're just gouging if people are interested in that, right? Because you creating an offer at the start in step one doesn't mean that the market is going to buy it, right? Like I said, this is why it's so important just to make sure you do this first step. You do this in like an afternoon, in like 2 hours, and then you go to market, which is one of this stage, right? Because that's part of the positioning, because the feedback you're getting here is going back there, right? It's like almost like an infinite loop. Like the more you go to market, the more feedback you get on your offer. Like trust me, I've built multiple six-figure offers, and there is always the offer is never done. There was always the next thing to tweak, right? So with hand raises, you just go to the market and like, hey, you can say something like, I'm putting something together and I'm looking for people to do X, Y, and Z. If you're interested in solving this problem together or one-to-one, comment X, click this link, or send me a message, right? To solve X, right? So you go to market. At the same time, in this phase of positioning, you go to your DMs. So whether you use Condo or your LinkedIn inbox, like I'm a big fan of Condo because it's one of the easiest, most intuitive like in interfaces we've used for DMs. It just makes things so much easier. You can label, etc. And this is just a free shout out to my friend Mitchell Tan from Condo. He built an amazing tool. I'll drop the links in the description if you want to check that out. But by the way, I'm not affiliated with them, but this is just a plug for them. And yeah, what was I saying? So I was talking about DMs. So the best thing here about DMs is like you go where this is like a kind of like one to many approach. Like you that's a horrible way of drawing that. So in this case, you go to one to many. So what I mean is that like you're one person, you go to many, right? Go to many people at the same time by using your LinkedIn audience. Where this is a one-to-one method, right? You go to one person, perhaps people you spoke to 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 3 weeks ago, and you can basically just have a variation of that message. You're like, hey George, good speaking to you with X, Y, and Z ago. I'm putting this together, blah, blah, blah. Would this be interesting to have a talk? You don't have to pitch slap them there. You don't have to drop your booking link yet. You don't have to do a payment link. You just have to gouge some interest. Like in this positioning phase, guys, what you're doing, you're just figuring out, okay, this offer that I've put together, the offer that I've put together here, right? The offer that I've put together in this phase, is the market here, is my hypothesis true? And not to go like super scientific here, but like I said, like you don't create a great offer in a vacuum, right? Without people buying it, the offer is not even valid. So with this case, hand raisers, DMs is just the biggest things, right? So now, as you're still here, we're also going to go over the things you should not do in this positioning phase. So first one is pretty clear, right? Skip it. Like, okay, you build an offer, and trust me, people do this. They build an offer. Sorry, they build an offer here. They build an offer here. Great offer. But then they don't change their LinkedIn positioning because they're afraid to put it out there, or they're certainly not doing hand raises because like, hey, I don't want to sell. And I'm like, yo, bro, you're not selling. You're just gouging demand, right? You're just validating that what you think is true, the market is willing to pay for that. And at the same time, they're like, I'm not sending DMs because I don't want to spam people. First of all, you're not spamming people. You're just asking if they're interested in what you have based on a previous conversation. It's literally that simple, right? If they say no, No, cool. If they say yes, I'm willing to talk, perfect. You have an opportunity to gain or gather more information. So don't skip this. Like I said, it sounds stupid, but people are doing this. Trust me. And at the same time, okay, the next thing that you do not want to do is tweak your LinkedIn, let's say 5 times per week. Oh, that's 5 times per week. Why? Because then you don't figure out what works. Like if you reset the clock every time back to zero, you don't know what works, and the market is like, I kind of don't understand what this guy or this girl is doing. Simple. And then last, this ties into what I said earlier, is like you didn't focus. You didn't focus. And this means that, let's say in your headline on LinkedIn, you're still very vague, very broad, or very general. So people don't know what you do. At the same time, when you still have that, I would say you leave all these options open. You're like, oh yeah, I can deliver all this work. I have worked with clients before, and I want to do them all. If you have certain like ambiguity, and you have that in your DMs where you say like, hey, I'm helping people do X, Y, and Z, but we can also do this and this and this and this and this. Trust me, people send messages like that. It's like confusing for the person that you DM, and it becomes very easy to ignore, right? So if you don't focus in the first step, you'll pay the price in the second step. So now, guys, when we zoom out a little bit, here I'm gonna give you a little bit of a summary. So we have the packaging phase, right, where we just get clear on, okay, what problem do we solve, who do we help, and how do we deliver it. We don't want to get like endless like offer tweaking. We don't want to skip it, obviously, and we don't want to try it all, do it all. Then in the positioning phase, I can create like a 2-hour video on positioning alone, but for this sake, to get you started as soon as possible, I just focus on, okay, what's the main platform you're using? LinkedIn. Why? Because it's the biggest B2B platform. If you're not on there, get your ass on there. If you're on there, perfect, keep going. So make sure that your LinkedIn profile in terms of your headline is good. We can talk about the about section in a different conversation. For now, not needed, because let's be honest, people just check out your banner, your headline, and your profile picture. Your headline, I just literally gave you the formula here. In your banner, your LinkedIn banner, just do a repetition of this, but then with some visuals. And the profile picture, just make sure that looks good. I don't care what you do there, as long as it's just like a professional picture that looks like you, not some AI bullshit. And then here, when you go to market, like you have hand raisers. Again, you're not selling, you're gouging demand. DMs, conversations, you're not selling, you're just gouging demand. You don't want to skip this. You don't want to make sure that you tweak it gazillion times. And you make sure that you want to focus. So now, guys, we're going to go into even more of execution. So let me zoom in on pipeline. So in pipeline here is what happens, or what we want to, no, I need to make this like this, perfect. So the main thing here is, and this is an eye. Hopefully you can see that. But the key here is this, and trust me, I'm not telling you to go viral. Like that's not what we're talking about. But without eyeballs, traffic, views, whatever you want to call it, no business. Because you can have the best offer in the world, you can have the best positioning, but if people don't see it, people don't know you exist, nothing happens. So in this phase, guys, remove this here. So in this phase, again, we keep things simple, right? Like I'm all about simplicity, because as you can see, it's a bit of a system, it's a structure. Again, if you do these things consistently, sequenced, you will get results on LinkedIn, because we have the case studies to back it up. If you check out the links in the description below, it just works when people execute, right? But in this phase of pipeline, what we want to do is we want to keep things simple. So again, my main platform, and the platform that we encourage all our clients literally to use, is LinkedIn. And the second one is email. And again, I'm not going to tell you like, hey, start a newsletter, post on LinkedIn 5 times a day, 7 times a week, la 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 la. No, I'm not doing that shit. So I need to make some space here. So we have some room. So we put this here. So in this phase, guys, so 3 to 4 per week. That's literally it. And I'm gonna tell you exactly which post to do in a second. And with email, you can do two things. Either you said 1 or 2 per week, or you just align it with your LinkedIn content and you do 3 to 4 per week. And by the way, guys, if you don't have an email yet, but you do post on LinkedIn, stay till the 4th step, because I'm going to show you extremely simple how you can get people from LinkedIn into your email. But that's for step number 4. So in this pipeline phase, guys, for LinkedIn, we want to keep things simple, right? So you have one proof post a week where you just basically talk and show is important. Don't just talk about it, but show results, receipts, videos, case studies, screenshots, that you show that you're able to do the things that you promised to do. So if your headline is like, hey, I help X solve what by how, we discussed here, right? Then here, you want to prove it, right? Because words without backup is just cheap, right? Especially in this day and age where everyone can kind of come up with stuff, with offers. Your proof is what matters, right? So 1 post a week on proof. And then I would say 1 to 2 posts where you do a combination between educating your audience on a specific topic that you've learned, but at the same time you say it in such a way that only you can say. We call this authority content. Like, say the things only you can say. So authority content, like I said, it's a combination between education and authority or credibility. It's just how you want to use it, how you want to like think about it, right? But like, this is not a post where you say like 7 steps how to do X. No, but you can say, after working with 50 people, I've learned the 7 things that no one talks about. Boom, 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 boom. So that framing alone, that hook that I just gave you, is something that only you can say because you've done the work. So with authority content is like, it's a result of you doing the work. Whether you're in the business for 5 years, 10 years, 5 months, you have done things, right? You have done either things for yourself or with clients or projects. And in this authority content, whereas proof is just more like showing, in authority content, you still add a level or a layer of education to it, right? Because from a proof post, people are just like, okay, I trust this person more. And in authority content, it's more like, okay, I learned something from this person, and I also understand why I should listen to them, because you've built authority and credibility, right? So authority content, by far, one of the best to put on LinkedIn. And this is just a long game. Like 1 or 2 of these posts, they're not gonna like magically like fill up your inbox. A proof post might do that, but an authority content that just builds the credibility and the reputation you have just week by week, month by month. So this is something that you just wanna keep freaking continuing. Whereas like a proof post can just be more of a you post something. Let's say you have a great client case study, you post it and you get an inbound lead because someone is like, oh wow, I really resonate with this story. I'm like X person, and I would love to tell you how to tell me more. So it's more of like a sniper, whereas a authority content is more of like it's like it builds the brand, right? And then the last thing that I want you to do in terms of LinkedIn content is a lead magnet. So this is just basically a post where you say like, hey, comment X to get Y. So I'm sure you've seen this post. I'm sure you've seen them from my feed if you've been following me on LinkedIn. It's basically like you have resources in your business or in your delivery, like cheat sheets, like videos, like GPTs, workflows, like playbooks, like stuff like that you might have to tweak it a little bit because you don't want to give away your most valuable like client assets. But there are perhaps ways that you're like, hey, I can package it in such a way and give it away on the feed. Because basically what you're doing here, you're trading engagement for a resource. So people comment, and then you get like this viral post, right? Like in the last, I think 5 months, like 40% of my lead magnets have gone viral. So for me, it's become very simple to know, okay, if I publish this resource, I get 1,000 comments or more. And these are just people that are interested in what I do. So I can add them to my network. We can grow, or I can grow the network. I'll have these people like in my network. And then in step 4, which I will talk about in a second, I can start nurturing them more. So in this phase, guys, just look at some of the assets you have, right? You don't have to build something from scratch yet. That's something you can think about later. But there might be assets in your arsenal that you're like, hey, I can give this away in terms of engagement, right? Because whereas a proof post usually doesn't get like the craziest engagement because people know it's just very specific, authority content will be more of like a slow burner and lead magnet, especially when you've cracked it. You will see a 10x, a 20x, or a 100x in terms of comments and engagement and in impressions. Like one of our private clients, Mark, like he really cracked like the lead magnet code. So now he just knows what to do, which resources to give away, and I think 75% of his lead magnets have gone viral, which is crazy because his normal post, his authority content, which is important, gets like 10, 15, 20 likes. But some of his lead magnets get like 1,000 likes. So imagine the sheer number, right? So with his lead magnet post, he just fills his pipeline, and at the same time with his authority content, he just builds credibility and trust with his audience. And this is where you see these all these elements, guys. You see that they start working together in a system. Like, I'm not saying only do this, only do that, or only do this type. No, you want to have them all three, right? Because they just feed off each other. It becomes an ecosystem. And this is where it just becomes very important to just have this consistency going out. And by the way, guys, if you need any help with setting up this system, check out the link below because we can help you out. We can help you install this whole system so you can make more money, work less, have more freedom in your life. And yeah, check out the first link in the description. Take you to a page with a video and some information. And if you're interested in that, just apply on the page. Happy to see your application come in. But now just let's talk about email for a second, right? Because we've talked quite extensive here about LinkedIn. Let me just make some space again. So with email, guys, again, simplicity. If you're consistently posting 3 to 4 times a week on LinkedIn and you have these assets, okay, perfect. Send one email, which is just basically your proof post, right? The other one can be an authority content. And the third one, if you want to be cool or you want to just add more value, you can just write a simple email. You're like, hey guys, I just posted this on LinkedIn. You can refer to your lead magnet. You can plug the lead magnet. You're like, hey, I just shared this resource. Go to my post to drive extra engagement, so you can create that loophole. Or this is what I prefer doing. I just send the email to my email list, and I just give them in that email the lead mag or like the resources as well, because I know that 100% of our email list comes from LinkedIn. So for me personally, it's weird to send people from email back to LinkedIn. So I'm like, no, if they're on email, they already come from LinkedIn. So then I just give the resource directly. So as you can see here, with little to no extra effort, you have 3 more touch points. Of course, if you have an email list, but that we can talk about in step 4, if you don't have it or you want to find a way to grow it. But that's it. That's how simple pipeline is, right? And then, again, let me make some space here. So we got the email. Last thing I want to say here about the green things in terms of pipeline is that, yes, we do outreach, but not in the traditional way that people say like, oh yeah, just DM everyone. No, again, very simple. What I want you to do is send 200 connection requests per week to ICP people. So let's say you focus on like C-suite executives or whatever, add them to your network. Hey George, good to connect. That's it. The only goal here is to grow your audience, because you got your content, right? Your content does the nurturing for them. Here's where so many people get tripped up. The main purpose of this is just adding these people to your network. Like let's say like 50% of these people like accept. That's 100 per week, which is 400 per month, which is 4,800 per year. Imagine if you grow your audience by 4,800 per year. That's a lot, right? Of qualified people, of people in your ICP, right? So that's super important. At the same time, what I want you to do is, like, as you're just putting out this content, like 3 to 4 times the post per week, reach out to the people that like, comment, check out your profile, and just connect. Hey, are you here for the content only, or is solving ... one of your main prios? Why that question? It's very binary. It's very easy. It's this or that. You don't have to ask people to think, so it's the best way to get replies. So that's it. The outreach is just simple. Have this going. You can either use a tool or you do this manually. Add 200 people per week to your network. 50% of them accept. You just grow your audience with almost 5,000 people a year, which is a lot, right? Especially, let's say you have 1,000 followers right now. This is just something that happens in the back end, because at the same time, you got your content here that just works for you, right? And then the like to comment, you can say like, okay, I sent 20 DMs per day, and the goal is to start a conversation, and the goal after this is to book a call. So that's that. So now let's go back to stuff that I do not want you to do. Don't worry about the messy layout. I'm going to fix it in a second. So again, skip content because it sounds like work. Again, people do it. They have everything set up. They have the offer dialed in. They have the positioning, and then they skip content, or they're just very inconsistent, right? Inconsistent because it's work and I don't know what to post. Second thing, they have no structure, no system. So every day they start from a blank page. You don't know what to talk about, etc., etc. Well, I just literally gave you here the setup, right? One proof post, one or two authority content, one lead magnet. That's it. Just run with that for 90 days and see how it goes. I trust you. You don't have to figure out any other types. And then here is they skip outreach because it feels like sales and like I don't want to sell people, pitch lab things, stuff like that. Cool, but you're not doing that. Here in the connection part, you're just connecting with people, which they love on LinkedIn. At the same time, here you reach out to people that know who you are, your likes, your comments, their profile picture. So they have I call this a trigger. They have done something on their end. They checked out your profile, they commented, etc. as a result of seeing your content, and that trigger you act on. So you're not reaching out to a cold person. You're just reaching out to someone that has seen something of your brand. So you just start a conversation. Hey, are you here for the content only, or is doing X, Y, and Z one of your main priorities? You're not selling, you're not pitch slapping, you're not dropping a calendar link, etc. You're not invading their personal space. So again, people don't do that because they're like, I don't want to be salesy, which is bullshit, right? You're just starting a conversation. So that's step number 3, guys. As you can see, I got super out of whack here. So I'm going to create some space before we're going to continue in. Let me remove this. There we go. So hopefully this still makes sense. So now we're gonna just go over productization. So in productization, guys, what we basically want to do is want to like build assets, help you get more out of the business in terms of delivery. So this is something that is where you start building a real business. This is where you start building a real business, because in this phase, when you're consistent, you have your high ticket offer, right? Which, as the name suggests, is a high ticket offer. Usually something, let's say more than $1,000 on a retainer per month, or something like 10K in total, right? So you have that, but you not only want to sell that, you want to start having like fractional things of your offer: mid-ticket offer, a low-ticket offer. Oh, that needs to be one of them. And we'll talk about this in a second. We have free perfect divider, so you understand what I'm talking about. So because here what happens, like you can serve more people instead of just only selling people on your high ticket offer. So you start having, like, let's say you sell a coaching container here. In a mid-ticket offer, you can think about, okay, what are some of the things that I do that can be done in a group setting that don't have to be one-on-one? So instead of just only selling people on a one-to-one, you then have an offer that you can increase the price or decrease the price, because you can help and serve more people at the same time. More people can come in, so you have a smaller group. Let's say it's a cohort or like a group session. So the price point might be a fraction of here. So again, then you have two offers from the same problem, right? Here you talked about, okay, this is who I help, the problem you solve and how you deliver it. So the only thing you now start to do is you start adding variation to the how you deliver it, right? That's the only thing you do here. Like you don't change this, you don't change that. And this is the beauty of the system, right? Like if you start building all these blocks like this, here at this stage, you get to the point that you're perhaps capped on time or energy. Like quite a few of our clients are here. Like they've successfully grown their one-to-one side of the business, and then they come to us and they're like, hey, I want to build a group program, or I want to build a course. And we're like, hey, why do you want to do it? I'm like, yeah, because I'm very repetitive in my one-to-one coaching, or I'm stuck, I don't have time for this. Cool. Let's just figure out a way how you can deliver more to more people at a reduced time investment, right? And the same thing here applies to a low ticket offer. So whereas a mid ticket offer is usually like done with you, or some form of like self-paced, I would argue that a low ticket product, so this is like usually anything around like less than $100, is do it yourself. Or in the case of doing a workshop, I would say a workshop is still like a low ticket offer, but a workshop, I would think usually you charge like $100. Like I like running monthly workshops. To join it's $100, and then they get like 2 to 3 hours with me and a bunch of other people. So there is a done with you element, but at the same time I'm just teaching to the people. And then here with free, guys, this is where you start to have the lead magnets that you talked about, or sorry, that you figured out in this phase. Oh, I don't know why this is orange. That's a bit out of scope. We have to go back to green here. But like this, these are spin-offs of your offer. So let me explain that. Like the lead magnets that I have in our business, the resources, they solve this problem for this ICP. It's just like the how you deliver it is different. So we have an offer GPT, which is called Auto, which is like, oh no, that's a paid one. But we have a lot of like GPTs that are free for people to use. And the only thing they need to do is they need to opt in on the email. So then I get email subscribers, and then in this case, I can target them, right? And this is exactly what we do with clients like Mark, what I mentioned before, because he has this on lock. So he knows how to generate viral demand on LinkedIn. We capture that in email, and then through email, he can send out new emails to his newsletter to sell his program, right? So that's how all these systems start to work together. So this is, guys, hopefully you start to just put the pieces together, right? It's just a system of things. So in this phase, and I've made in this way of like productization, I made a bunch of different videos on this. So check out those. I will make sure to drop them in the comment section, because I don't want to go into that rabbit hole for now. The only thing I want to say here is about like the free thing. So the free lead magnets, they're just a way to get an email sub. So you just want to, like I said, you have this comment X to get Y on LinkedIn. When people say like, hey, I want this resource, you just message them. You just send them a DM to an opt-in page. That's what I like to do. They download it, they get the resource, or say they do opt-in, they download the resource, and at the same time they're at your email list, which then allows you for more nurturing. So you can send YouTube videos if you have that. You can send other resources. You can send, of course, these emails, what I just sent. So you start building a business, right? Because traction on LinkedIn is great, but you want to also make sure that you have an owned asset. So I really like the combination between a social platform, like in our case, like LinkedIn is the biggest social platform, and at the same time we have a very big audience, a list on email, because that allows me just to, A, I own the asset, and two, is that it's the glue between social, right? Because I'm also very big on YouTube. Well, you're obviously watching this thing on YouTube. It's not that I'm big on YouTube, but I'm bullish on YouTube. I'm like big as in like very positive about the platform, because let's be honest, this is a video of like nearly like 40-50 minutes. If you're watching this, like you're spending a lot of time with me, right? You're listening to me like teaching and explaining here, so that's worth a lot of value, right? So in this case, guys, in this, I want green. Get an email sub. That's just get the opportunity for having someone add into your world, and then you can of course start to figure out, okay, can I sell them a low ticket offer? Can I sell them this? Or can I invite them to, this is a big thing, invite them to the high ticket offer? Like I think with a high ticket offer, you usually just want to invite people in to have them check it out and not necessarily quote unquote sell to them. So that's that. Then in the last phase here, guys, of the productization phase, the things you don't want to do is launch different products at one time. So usually what I say is like one product per quarter. So let's say you have a high ticket offer right now. Okay, next quarter, because like assuming this is like running, you got a few clients in on an MRR, you're making like, let's say 5 to 6K MRR, which is amazing money. Then you create out a medium ticket offer and you start launching that. But don't do then a low ticket offer or iteration of your high ticket offer. Keep things focused. So that's that. The other thing that you don't want to miss here is that you don't want to don't capture email. Sure, I understand that you have to set up it a little bit, but tools like Beehive, ConvertKit, or even Go High Level are very simple tools just to capture an email lead, because that allows you to just build out something that's just more sustainable than just LinkedIn only. And then last but not least is here, again, skip it. Because people say like, yeah, I have my high ticket offer and I just want to do only that thing. Sure, but that might keep you in this loophole. Sorry, in this treadmill of people like, oh yeah, I'm just providing delivery to my clients all the time. Like the only way how I see people scale successfully like a high ticket, a one-to-one or coaching is when they charge like really high prices, right? So it's definitely doable, because here when we started talking. I got ahead of myself there. We started talking about a six-figure info business, right? So that's perfectly doable with only a one-to-one offer, right? Like I said, this is 8.3K per month. If you have 4 clients at 2K MRR, which is very reasonable for any high ticket offer, right? Very reasonable for a coaching or consulting offer. That's already 8K, right? Sure, you need a little bit of spare money, but let's say one client, you have 5 clients, or 1 month you have 5 clients, or you raise your price to 2.5K. Then you're there, right? So you don't need, and this is the beauty, you don't need for now a low ticket or a mid ticket offer. However, there are perfect entry points for people to step into your world, experience what you have before they dedicate and commit to the full thing. So I've been talking for quite a while. If you made it to the end of this video, guys, I appreciate you a lot. Make sure to hit the like, to subscribe if you haven't done that. Check out the resources in the description, because I'm sending just more value. And if there's any specific video you want to see after this, just drop a comment below and then I will catch up to you soon. Bye. Ciao.